Make no mistake, Laquan's family is here and present and standing and still demanding that they would like federal charges to be brought by John Lausch.
That's right.
This, you all will hear directly from the family. The facts of this case are very simple and clear. Jason Van Dyke pumped 16 bullets into Laquan McDonald. For that, he was convicted of second-degree murder. When we think about the actions of a police officer that can do a heinous act like that and walk out of prison in a very short time, that is a major injustice against everything that we stand for. We will never sit silently and let these things take place and not hold the officers accountable or the people who can hold him accountable on a higher level.
Come on, sis.
Just as when we think about what happened a few states away with Derek Chauvin, we must understand the same type of cries that have been made when a national platform was created, when an individual was choked to death and the entire world watched it. This is the same way we're coming for the situation regarding Laquan McDonald. We had to fight to have a tape released that would show this individual shooting someone walking away, a young man, a teenager. He was not even given a chance. He wasn't even given an opportunity to even plead for his life. If other officers did not see fit to perform this, he did. And for that, he should be held accountable on a federal level. It is unequivocally an injustice to society and humanity to think that people can go around and purport to be an officer of the law, but then perform injustices against the very citizens that they signed up to protect. So what we're doing now is we're comparing the fact that this is no different from Derek Chauvin. Not at all. We want to make sure that John Lausch and his office, anybody who's associated with creating an accountability for what has happened to Laquan McDonald, we want them to understand we cannot let this go. We will not let this go. And guess what? We are unapologetically standing here with the family of Laquan McDonald, making sure that people know we are mad and we are justifiably upset about this situation. We are not apologizing about our anger, not at all. So as we continue to talk about why we're here, we want to know, do you all understand why the fight still exists? The fight has to exist because when a United States Justice Attorney General makes a statement and says we will not bring federal charges because the family doesn't want us to, where does that happen? That the family can tell the United States Attorney General not to bring forth charges. It makes no sense. It is his job. He has to do his job. He has signed up to do this job. And not to even mention, the family did not say this. They're standing right here now, and you'll hear from them. So I just want you all to understand, we're holding justice, we're holding the accountability for John Lausch to hold Jason Van Dyke accountable. He cannot just live his life as if anything didn't happen. Right now, we have a young man who his family will never see again. Laquan's family will never see him again. It's a shame that a young man's life is taken, and we're standing here in 2022 still talking about justice for him. How bad is that? What kind of system and society do we live in? So I just want to bring up at this time the grandmother of Laquan McDonald.
All right. Could you spell your name for us, please?
Sure. Dr. LaShawn Latrice, LaShawnLitrice. We're going to bring up Tracy Hunter, Laquan's grandmother. Let's give it up for her.
All right.
Woo!
Say that.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I am Laquan McDonald's grandmother. I'm so upset. I'm so angry about this outburst, this outcome, because did nobody contact the family, me or his mom, to say that we're not seeking federal charges against Jason Van Dyke. Yes, we are. Yes. We've been in this fight for so long. And I want to make it clear, again, Marvin Hunter do not represent my family.
Come
I
on,
made it over and over and over again. What is your motive? Who you working for? Who paying you?
Come on, sis.
What's really going on? But the big question is why? Why? My phone been ringing. I don't know what's going on until this here. Why? Let's get it straight. And then John Lausch. How can you sit up here and say that you spoke to the family about not seeking federal charges? You ain't spoke to nobody. That been a big lie. Ain't nobody spoke to me or my daughter. If anybody want to know any information or any questions about my grandson, Laquan McDonald, I'm the one to contact his biological grandmother or my daughter.
That's right. Come on, sis.
Do not contact nobody else. I mean, what is they doing it for? They ain't no celebrity. What is they doing it for? And to set the record straight, he's not no kid to my grandson.
Come on, sis.
He's not no kid to my grandson. And his family said he ain't doing it for the money. Okay, so what is he doing it for? He don't need the money. What is he doing it for? Why? That's the big question. Why are you constantly doing this here? It's like every time we try to push a step forward, he pushed us 2 steps back.
Come on, sis.
You know, with misrepresentation
Come on.
and betrayal out of all things. He represented my family for like, what, 3 years?
Misguided.
Represented them, misguided them, betrayed them, did everything up under the sun. But you're a whole pastor. You know, so the question is why? Why aren't you constantly keep doing this here? What, because he's not in the spotlight no more? I don't understand this here. He ain't giving me a chance, or the people that's standing with me and not against me, to help me seek federal charges against Jason Van Dyke and my grandson.
Come on.
And you want elected officials.
And you know, it just,
Tammy Duckworth.
I'm just tired of it.
Yes.
You know, ain't nobody helping nobody. But then, as soon as it's time to get re-elected, they want to jump up and get re-elected again.
Come on.
I don't feel no pity or sorry for Rahm Emanuel. He knew about it. He covered up the whole murder thing for a whole year.
Come on.
Lori Lightfoot did it too because she was working for him at the time before she came mayor. She knew about the cover up too. Then she wound up getting elected mayor. What type of justice is that? They don't do nothing for us, period. Dick Durbin, none of them. But then, when it's time to get elected, they want to make all these false accusations, these false ass lies about what they're going to do for Chicago and don't do nothing for Illinois.
Nothing for the
Nothing, period. If they could get justice and seek federal charges in these other states for what the police officers did to their family, why I can't get it here for my son? Why all the other mothers can't get it here for their son and their grandson that got killed by the police?
justice for Laquan.
Everything that was said Monday about the family not seeking federal charges, all that was a lie.
Come on.
Didn't nobody contact us about
That's what
nothing.
you're talking about.
I had to find out everything
Say it.
on Facebook or the news.
Say it.
Did nobody, John Lausch, nobody, prosecutors, nobody called my house, but the news peoples and the TV peoples and the Sun Times. That's how I found out. And it don't make no sense. Like I said, every time we move a step forward, he pushed us 2 steps back.
Come on.
To make it seem like that we don't care or none of that. Yes, I do care. I got to live with this for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. But like I said, that man took my firstborn grandchild from my firstborn child, and that was her firstborn child. A first from a first from a first. But see, that he's not a billionaire son or a millionaire son, they don't want to do nothing.
Come on.
He's just a typical black kid that got thrown in the back of the bus, like in the box, under the shelf. But see, they don't understand it wonderful happened to their family, somebody in their family. You can't never say never. You can't never say never. I don't wish no bad luck, no harm on nobody's child. But guess what? Karma is an MF.
All right, Miss
And that's all I got to say.
Tracy Hunter.
Spell her name.
T-R-A-C-I-E.
T-R-A-C-E-Y.
T-E-Y, sorry.
Thank you. Now, thank you so much. You've heard directly from Tracy Hunter, the grandmother of Laquan McDonald, that what you all heard on Monday did not represent her family. Now we're going to hear from our brother, Justin Blake, who is the uncle of Jacob Blake. red, the black, the green. Come on, let's give it up for him.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Justin Blake, the uncle of Jacob Blake that was shot 7 times in Kenosha, that we still are fighting for justice for. We come here today on behalf of Breonna Taylor's family, on behalf of the Floyds, on behalf of the Blake family, to let you know we stand in unity with this sister Tracy, and her family. What happened is deplorable, and we're not going to tolerate it in the city of Chicago. One thing we have that other people don't have that are in these big offices around you, we got people power. And we refuse to let lies go on and these gaslit be going on and not facing the facts. Number one, what's the gentleman's name?
Marvin Hunter.
Marvin Hunter is no longer and has been no longer representing this family, Laquan McDonald's family, period. So if we can record that, put it in the record today, put that in your back pocket, that is what's going on. If you need to talk to anybody that has to do with Laquan McDonald's family, you will talk to Miss Tracy, his grandmother, his blood grandmother. This other gentleman is not a relative, is not a blood relative. So how could the state and the federal people say that this man is who they talk to when he's not a blood family member? It's ridiculous, it's deplorable, they're not doing their homework. Number 3, we standing with this family and many of these organizations here behind us to demand, not ask, but demand that this man be indicted, be prosecuted, and be jailed.
That's right.
Van Dyke murdered a young man that had a lot of life in front of him. We don't know where our next Malcolm X is coming. We don't know where our next Obama is going to come from. He could have been that, and it was stolen from him and his family and the city of Chicago. And for that, we stand with this family, these great organizations, and these great brothers and sisters behind us, demanding today justice from our mayor, from our governor, from the senators, from congressmen, from everyday average Chicagoans. We can't sit back when our children are being murdered in the street by people that we pay. We pay taxes to pay their salary, yet we're murdered and shot and maimed and put in wheelchairs like my nephew. The day is over, the gig is up. We're pulling the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. We know who these people are, and we're demanding justice. Justice for Laquan.
Justice for Laquan.
We are united. We're going to stay united. We're going to get justice for this family. And one day, Miss Tracy's grandmother will be able to sit on the lakefront, enjoy an afternoon, knowing that the man that murdered her son is in federal penitentiary. Big ups to the red, the black, and the green. Unity now. One Africa. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you so much, Justin Blake. We're going to invite our sister, our amazing sister who is a congressional candidate, Keena Collins. We're going to hear from her. She's been a part of this struggle since day one. Let's welcome Keena Collins.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Keena Collins. The spelling is K-I-N-A. Last name Collins, C-O-L-L-I-N-S. I am running for the U.S. House of Representatives in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. I'm a part of the Laquan 9 that was arrested in the federal Dirksen building. And I want to be very clear to U.S. Attorney John Lausch. Do your job. Do your job. When a police officer pumps 16 bullets into the body of a child, it is your obligation to press federal charges. Not only did Jason Van Dyke pump 16 bullets into the body of Laquan McDonald, he tried to reload his gun. This was a clear-cut violation of his civil rights. And we want to say to all the electeds here in the city of Chicago, do your job.
That's right.
Come on.
A lot of them, including our current Cook County State's attorney, she was brought in on the wave of the movement that we built around Laquan McDonald. And now everybody is silent. But we won't be silent, and we know that we have to serve as the voice for Laquan McDonald, because before Laquan, it was Rakia Boyd. After Laquan, it was Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones. When will enough be enough?
That's right.
And so we want federal charges. We want our congressional delegation to push the Department of Justice and Attorney General Merrick Garland to move forward, because the buck does not stop with John Lausch.
Come on. on, sis.
Our constitutional rights do not stop at that office. And so we need them to do their job. To all the activists and organizers who've been from day one, please do not lose hope. Dr. King told us that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
Come on.
This is the bending that we have to do. And so I call on the Illinois delegation, our senators, Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin, do your job. Make sure that you push the Department of Justice, and let's hold the Attorney General Merrick Garland accountable. Here's the final thing that I would say. In 2020, black folks delivered the White House for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where are you? The first warning shot that we got that was a slap in the face was appointing Rahm Emanuel as ambassador of Japan when we know for a fact that he did not do his job here in the city of Chicago and protect and serve honorably the people of the city of Chicago. What was his resume? Joe Biden said that he was qualified. What was his resume? Shutting down 50 schools, eviscerating mental health facilities, divesting from black and brown communities, hiding the tape of Laquan McDonald for 400 days and a cover-up. He was not qualified. And we called on our U.S. Senate and the president to stand on the side of people and on the side of civil rights, and they did not. And now we have a situation where they think that they can discard and keep Laquan McDonald as a hashtag, but he is not. He was one of our own in our community. And let's be clear, the entire system failed Laquan McDonald. The entire system failed him. And so for us, this is not political, this is personal. And we're gonna continue in this fight. Miss Tracy, we are with you, and I stand with Miss Tracy. Reverend Martin Hunter, you're dead wrong. You are not the representative for this family, so stop speaking on behalf of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, congressional candidate Keena Collins. I want to bring up our brother who has been part of this struggle from day one as well, J. Mal Green. Let's give it up for him.
First of all, let me just say I'm disgusted. I've spent the last 7 years of my life fighting for Laquan McDonald because I saw a videotape when I was a teenager of Laquan being shot 16 times. I got up, I risked my life each and every day, protesting down these streets, arrested by police, and recently arrested by the U.S. Marshals. We have spent year after year fighting for a 17-year-old boy. You would think that this would be way more simple than this. You would think that if anyone looked at a kid being killed and shot 16 times, that you would think that there would be an uproar from everywhere around this country for justice for him, but we have spent all of these years to still be today asking, demanding that a 17-year-old boy who can't speak for himself get some type of justice. What type of sense do that make? What type of sense does that make that 7 years later, we are still here? We are still here today. Shame on the system. Shame on these elected officials. Shame on Attorney John Lausch. We should not have to keep doing this. Because if it was a white young boy, if it was a police officer's young boy, we all know the circumstances if it was another kid that was shot 16 times. Do y'all understand 16 times? I don't know if y'all understand. We're not talking about one bullet or two or three or four or five or six or seven or eight or nine or 10. This was overkill. Why do we have to keep asking and demanding for justice? This makes no sense. We have all lost so much over the years fighting for Laquan McDonald. But we will continue day after day until we get justice. This was a young boy who could have been anything in life. He should be here today. But unfortunately, he was failed and he was murdered. We should not have to ask Attorney John Lausch, this is your duty. What type of integrity is your office showing by saying that we're not going to charge because someone else told us not to? You were put in that position to uphold the law, and we are demanding that you uphold the law.
That's right.
Do your job.
Do your job.
I am a father of 3 young boys.
Whoa. Say it again.
3 young boys. And I am scared of raising my children in the city of Chicago knowing that something can happen to them and there will be no justice. No justice. So what I'm asking, demanding of John Lausch, of all of our elected officials, from the governor to the mayor, who've all benefited from this movement. Please understand there was a dynamic shift that happened in this state because of Laquan McDonald's movement. Everybody has a duty to step up for Laquan McDonald. There would be no J.B. Pritzker. There would be no Lori Lightfoot. There would be no Kim Foxx. There would be no Juliana Stratton. We would not have none of the elected officials without this movement. And we are demanding that everyone step up and tell John Lausch, do your job. Give Laquan McDonald the justice that he deserves. We're not asking for much. We're not asking for money. We're not asking for nothing. We're asking for you to simply treat Laquan McDonald as if he was a white boy, as if he was your son, as he was a police officer's son, as if it was anyone else. Give him the same respect. And we asking for it, demanding it right now. Justice for Laquan.
Justice for Laquan.
Justice for Laquan.
Justice for Laquan.
And we always ask, which side are you on?
All right.
Thank you so much, Jamal Green. He stood here and he just made me think about all these things that level up to systemic racism in cases that involve people like our brother, our son, our child, Laquan McDonald. If Jason Van Dyke was a black man, would we be standing here in 2022 begging for justice? That's why we're going to continue to demand. Let's take this all the way to the White House. We're talking about Merrick Garland. We're talking about holding those accountable who are higher than John Lausch to show that justice should be served in the same mannerism as it was for Derek Chauvin. When Derek Chauvin was convicted, the public outcry, it was an international outcry. We want you all to understand, had it not been for the murder of Laquan McDonald, that would have never happened. Now, on that note, we're going to bring up one of our brothers in the movement, Patrick McWilliams from PSL Chicago. Let's give him a hand.
All right. Come on, Patrick.
Thank you. So first I just want to say it is a shame that we have to be here out yet again after all these long years once more to demand the very basics of justice that should have been delivered through this system so long ago. Now, and it is one thing I want to say for John Lausch to say that he is not going to press charges. It's unacceptable. We will not do anything except continue our campaign, but it's something else, adding insult to injury, to say that the family supports this decision. Did he think we wouldn't check? Did he think we didn't have people we could call and talk to? Does he think we're stupid? These are the questions we want to ask. It shows total disrespect to the family and to everyone who has fought, struggled, marched, and been arrested for this movement for justice. So we are here to set the record absolutely clear on that point and to say again that we're not stopping. We are not going back into our homes. We're not leaving the streets because we've been doing at this for 7 years. We'll be at it for another 7 years if we have to. Because we should remember every little crumb of justice that we have gotten in this case, whether it was the release of the video, whether it was the firing of Gary McCarthy, whether it was the defeat of Anita Alvarez and Rahm Emanuel, whether it was having a trial at all of that was only accomplished because the people demanded it and did not take no for an answer.
That's right.
And we are not taking no for an answer today.
That's right.
We are going to keep up this campaign. We are going to continue to fight. And I just want to say, people have made this point. If Laquan had been a white child, what this would have looked like. If Van Dyke had been black. We don't have to hypothesize, though. Can we think of another situation where 3 years are served for murder and 16 counts of aggravated battery? I don't think so. We have people in jail still awaiting charges, still awaiting their day in court, who have been in longer than that. This is a clear expression of the racism of this system that treats black life as less, and that ain't right.
That ain't right.
So we are going to continue this movement because, again, we're not taking no for an answer. If John Lausch will not do his job, we are going over him. There is no statute of limitations on murder and no statute of limitations for what Van Dyke did to that child. So we are going to keep this movement going. We are going to keep marching and fighting. And I just want to say, Black Lives Matter and all power to the people. We're going to keep this going until we make it so. Thank you very much. No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. Thank you.
Thank you to our brother Patrick McWilliams for bringing that. He's been a part of the struggle from the very first day. I would like to call our sister up, Nataki Rose. She has been down here working this from the beginning, and I appreciate her. Come on, Nataki.
All right.
Let's give it up for her.
Why not? Why not?
Right after this, we're going to open up for questions.
Nataki, N-A-T-A-K-I, Rhodes, R-H-O-D-E-S. And I brought Tracy up here with me because this is all about Tracy losing her grandson. This is about Tracy standing up for her grandson. This is about Tracy standing up, being the voice for your daughter.
Come on, sis.
This is about you, Tracy, being the voice for Laquan McDonald.
Come on, sis.
This is the grandmother
Come on.
that brought Laquan McDonald's mother here.
All right.
And it saddens me that Chicago took a news cycle spin from Monday up until last night, all the way to WTTW, to Heather said this case is closed.
No, sir. No, sir.
Channel 7, Channel 9, Fox 32, all of them said this is over with.
No, sir.
All of them said no justice. The legal analysts said no justice for Laquan. And we are here to say the facts are clear. Jason Van Dyke violated Laquan McDonald's civil rights when he put 16 shots into his body. The only answer we can think of is U.S. Attorney John Lausch is refusing to do his job.
Get him out of there. Gotta go.
This grandmother, turn around, Tracy, because I want everybody to see.
That's right.
No one has ever contacted her.
Never.
CNN News, Channel 5 News, 732. When are y'all gonna spin the truth? The truth is Marvin Hunter does not represent them.
Come on.
The truth is that they was misguided, misled, and coerced by Ron Emanuel and the spin corruption of Chicago.
All right.
The aldermen signed off on the corruption. Lori Lightfoot, Michelle Harris, Greg Mitchell, the entire Black Caucus. And you all signed off on his life. And you signed off giving Tracy a chance to speak on behalf of her family. And you signed off on a lie. This family want, what do you want, Tracy?
I want justice.
What do you want, Tracy?
I want justice for my grandson.
What do you want,
and I
Tracy?
want justice now.
All right.
What do you want? Federal charges?
I want federal charges. John Lausch, if you're not going to do your job, you need to step down.
Come on.
And we need to put somebody in his place that will do his job. Because John Lausch is not serving no purpose at all. Mike Manigan, he was dead on the news to press federal charges for corruption and bribery. He's still alive. My grandson ain't. Again, I got to live with this for the rest of my life.
She want federal charges. We want federal charges. And there's no way they can't file federal charges against Jason Van Dyke. Stop the spin and stop the lies. Stop lying. Stop saying you can't do it. You all are smart. These people been to college. They got all these degrees, but they can't figure out how to bring justice to this family.
All right, come on, Jackie.
And so we must, and we will continue on Facebook, social media, on the TV, WTTW, Channel 7. We're going to continue to be out here to get in front of the lie. We want federal charges. And that's simple and all. And if that means to bring Ron Emanuel and to fire him, because he does not represent Chicago. He is the worst representation of Chicago. And Lori Lightfoot does not represent Chicago. I have so many friends that their children have suffered from police brutality. Even my own son, her son, an A1 student, was held down by Chicago police, A1 student, and he could have lost his life. So this is not just one bad apple. This apple is a generational bad apple, all the way back down to John Burrs, all the way back down to when you killed the young 20-something Fred Hampton.
Come on.
This is a pattern. And check it out. Jason Van Dyke's father has been with the Chicago Police Department as long, all the way back to when Ed Burke came. It's just the city council and every Chicago elected official is full of corruption. We want justice for Laquan. We want federal charges, and we're demanding it. And how you can help? Call John Lausch's office. This is the ask from Tracy, correct? Call his office. Demand that they pick up federal charges. Call U.S. Attorney Mark Garland. Kamala Harris, call her office. Call Joe Biden. Call their office. Call Robin Kelly. To our state elected officials, you have failed. Cam Butler, we need you to do a resolution. We want our resolution, sir. Robin Kelly, we want a resolution. We want what needs to be done. We don't have to wait for justice like Emmett Till. We had to wait so long for Emmett Till. And you just barely said something into law. We are the new faces of justice.
Justice for Laquan.
Justice for Laquan.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to make a correction here. I'm not carrying this red, black, and green flag for anything. I represent the best of our people, and I want to get something straight here today. We built this country. So I don't want to talk about a white young person or police person's child. He's an African-American young man in the streets of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, in the nation that held slavery for over 400 years, that helped build this country. So if anybody deserves the right to liberties and freedom, you're looking at him, and he should have had them. So I want to get that straight. I want to stop leaning on somebody else and let's focus on ourselves. We deserve justice. And this grandmother deserves justice for the death of an African-American child at 17. Stop mentioning everybody else. Let's focus on that. 16 shots. 16 shots. 16 shots. Don't you focus on nothing else. One, that man had no right to speak for this family. Two, the government must be asleep up at the damn office to think you would talk to somebody else. If you're in a medical situation, they talk to your wife, your direct family, and nobody else. And that's what they should have done. And number 3, we will not stop until we get justice. Big ups to the red, black, and green. Laquan McDonald.
Say his name. Laquan McDonald.
Say his name.
Laquan McDonald.
We are now open for questions. If anyone has any questions, want to step up?
Who is Marvin?
Come here. I'm going to let Tracy Hunter address that. His question is, who is Marvin Hunter?
Who is Marvin Hunter? A betrayal, all betrayal. To be honest with you, I can't say what he is or who he really is. Because every time you give a person that leeway, they find some way to come bite you all over again. You know, so, you know what?
Is he related to
How
your
did he
family?
come to
Is
say
he,
he's related?
is he related to me? No, he's not. He related through marriage. But not officially? No.
Not by blood.
Not by blood.
Not by blood.
Not by blood, no.
Say it out loud.
No relationship, period. Not by blood.
Not by blood.
You reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office to convey your feelings?
I didn't reach out to nobody because ain't nobody reached out to me. I'm just finding out everything about this, what happened Monday. My phone blowing up ringing. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I didn't even know what happened or what's going on. I'm still in the world spin right now of the question, why? Why? That's why I made that statement. Every time we try to take one step forward, he pushes 2 steps back. I am seeking federal charges against Jason Van Dyke.
That's right.
Like I said, I have to live with this for the rest of my life. He don't. Nobody don't. Only a person that lost a child like me and a lot of more other mothers and grandmothers, and like Kim over there, almost lost her child. The police put an AK-47 to her child's head. Lucky that he didn't pull the trigger, because there's a lot of trigger-happy cops here.
Yes.
Guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people.
Police kill.
And it's wrong.
I would say too, a month or so ago, when was that, in February, when the
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals arrested us, we actually went to the Federal Dirksen building, a group of activists. Some of you might remember Reverend Jesse Jackson and Father Flager.
Bobby
also
Rush.
there. Yeah. They refused, the U.S. Attorney's Office refused to see Miss Tracy Hunter. So she didn't even make it up to the U.S. Attorney's Office because the U.S. Marshals wouldn't let us pass the metal detectors. And
And
so,
we've been
you
to
know,
his
when
house.
I'm looking today, I see that there are Chicago police officers guarding property. I wish they guarded Laquan's life like they guarding this building right now. So she has
Well, we
tried.
pay taxes at.
That we pay taxes
Taxes
for.
at.
She has tried. They refused to see her. That was in February.
Yes.
And not only did they refuse to see her, we refused to leave the building, and then they arrested 9 of us.
And we've been to his house. We've been to his house.
Phone calls, text messages, nothing. Nothing.
John Lausch house and we was
Nothing.
threatened.
Got
We
the
was
rate.
threatened
Nothing.
by the police.
Nothing.
And the U.S. Attorney released and said that they consulted with family before they came up with the decision. Do you know who it was that they consulted with?
She's
I
not a
believe
witness.
it to be.
Well, you know what, to be honest with you, when I got the phone calls, when I was asking them who could have did this here, I know who did it anyway. But when the phone call told me that he been representing your family for the past 3 years, it was Marvin Hunter. Who else could have been? You know what I'm saying? And we did not get no phone calls about nothing. They didn't question us, ask us, or nothing. All that is a lie. A lie. L-I-E, I can spell it in capital letters.
We
A
want
lie.
federal charges. We want federal charges.
Huh? It was a lot of reporters, the Sun-Time news people, you know, and was questioning me. I'm like, okay, what's going on? They called my daughter while she was at work. She sent the paper through my phone, and I saw the number up there and called. And this is the information that I got.
One of the things when people have death in the family from the police, they usually get a spokesperson because they're grieving. And that's what happened. Mr. Hunter was a spokesperson for this family because they was going through the grieving process.
He manipulated
So,
them.
and now he manipulated them, and he now
worse.
claims that he's related. He's no relationship, and
Blood
as
relationship.
the grandmother said.
Also, Marvin Hunter, who has purported to be the spokesperson for the McDonald family, he's also the one that wrote a letter when activists were pushing back about Rahm Emanuel getting the appointment and wanting accountability for Rahm Emanuel, he once again said that he was speaking on behalf of the family, but that was not what the McDonald family and blood relation wanted. So this is also a pattern of him speaking out of turn and not consulting with the family or the activist community, quite frankly, who is outraged.
And then in the letter, he stated, I have to look at my notes again and see that Rahm Emanuel did not pull the trigger. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But at one point, was Mr. Hunter, was Marvin Hunter acting with permission of the family?
He did not get no permission from nobody in the family. He don't have my phone number. He don't even have my daughter's phone number. Don't nobody have, every time somebody get my daughter's phone number, she change it. So how could he,
in the beginning?
how could he get in contact, period, even in the beginning? Now, in the beginning, okay, they was going to court and all like that. But that was the beginning. Okay, use a spokesperson. Okay, now I stepped up, doing what I have to do for my grandson. Because when it all boils down to it, my grandson ain't coming back. I got to live with this for the rest of my life. My daughter got to live with this for the rest of her life. You know, and when I asked him to step down, I'm thinking that he did it, let my voice be heard as I'm his biological grandmother. He didn't. And why? What, did nobody phone call us about nothing? I had to find out all this through a phone call, the news, and on Facebook. And why?
When did you ask him to step down?
I asked him, what was this, about two months ago?
When Jason Van Dyke was then released.
When he got released.
And shortly thereafter, there was a big press conference held at Push. There was many organizations there, and it was stated that she was the person that was going to be representing the family. That was made totally clear.
And then,
that was 2 months ago.
And then,
but prior before that, prior before that, Tracy was to get in contact with us because a lot of community organizers, we couldn't get to the family because of Marvin Hunter. And so they have been trying to get their story out, but he has done a lot of coercion, misguiding, and misleading this family. And so that's why the truth hasn't been able to come out, fully come out, and she's been silenced as well as the mother and the family. And it's just been misguided and misled. And so she's using her voice to speak up right now.
Okay, because we did a press conference across the streets in front of the Federal Building, and I was stipulating the same thing. And
when was this?
This was
February the 3rd.
February the 3rd.
We did a press conference over there. We did so many press conferences about him not being a spokesperson for my family, and he should have respected my decision on that, but he didn't. Because if he did, we wouldn't be here right now today, trying to clarify everything up, that this is a whole big lie, that we not pressing charges. Yes, we are pressing charges. You know, and it's so sad that so many years passed it for them to even put a law into effect about Emmett Tills. And it's sad. And I'm gonna keep on fighting until my laws, until something happens. And and it's just so corrupted of how everybody is just on one accord and not everybody on the same accord. Like I said, John Lausch, you need to step down. You're not doing your job.
Right.
You need to step down. You ain't serving no justice or no purpose for the people of Illinois.
For you and your family.
And not even for me. For me, for all the other mothers and grandmothers that lost their loved ones, that didn't get justice served for their family.
So what's your next step beyond us standing here and putting your words out to the public? What's the next step?
Calling the office. We're gonna be calling. She's gonna continue to talk to the public, and we are asking and continuing to call John Lausch's office. But we're going further than that. We're taking it to the U.S. D.C. and we're asking everybody to call D.C. office.
And Springfield too.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'd like to say that we have reached out to U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth's office, and the request was for her to continue to push the Department of Justice to file the federal charges. She has assured us in the meeting that she is going to continue to push for that.
All right.
But what our next step is we're going to continue to organize the community. It is election season. And so accountability needs to be had. But to answer your question, we have reached out to state legislators like Cam Buckner. We've requested that he actually put a resolution on the floor to recognize this as a civil rights violation. We have spoken to U.S. Congresswoman Robin Kelly, who held a press conference with Ms. Tracy Hunter. And so we're going to continue to push our representatives to do their jobs.
Absolutely.
And so, like all of us are saying, the buck does not stop at John Lausch. Even if it was, let's entertain it. Say Reverend Hunter was a part of the family. If a crime was committed, a family member cannot prevent the state or the government from pursuing charges of a constitutional violation. That's just not how our government works. And so I don't know what game he's playing at, U.S. Attorney John Lausch, but we're going to continue to push forward.
Go ahead, your question.
I'm sorry. That was a few weeks ago, or about a month ago. It was about a month ago. A few organizers had a meeting with her and her staff.
But we haven't had nothing.
Yeah, it's Keena Collins.
Van Dyke was initially convicted and sentenced. The jury here in Chicago sentenced him to 90-some odd years, and then he was paroled. Was anybody from the family contacted by the parole board so they could speak about his parole?
We don't believe so. No one was contacted by the parole board.
Well, actually, they don't do that.
They don't do that.
Just to answer your question, they don't do that no more in the state of Illinois. When you serve so much time, that they just automatically give you the parole. That's if you sentence so much, that's what they do in the state of Illinois.
Are there any more questions?
Any more questions?
Any more questions? Thank you all so much. Thank you so much.
For the 97 years thing, you know how the judge, he just interpreted it where it's only 6.